Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:50 AM on Friday the 17th of April. My name is Ewok and this is Geordie Space Program. And I'm here on my own, as you probably guessed by now. It's always a little funny doing the excitable Geordie Space Program when you're on your own. I'm off work, isn't that great? Gonzo's not off work, isn't that even better? Welcome to this episode. What I intend to do in this episode is design us a craft for an epic mission, a mission across the solar system where we can go and do something new that we've never done before. So a lot of this episode will be spent in this screen, the vehicle assembly building, as I tweak the craft. I don't intend to have no flights. It will have to have a test flight. I'm thinking that we'll probably try and take it up into orbit, and once it's in orbit, well then we'll jump from there in the next mission. Now, where do I start? Little thingy. It was one of the little thingies. Was it little thingy 1? Or was it little thingy 2? Little thingies 2 is more expensive, so that's probably the one. Let's take a look. Yep, this is the one. So this is the ship that we used in the last mission. The mission that successfully got us to Eve and let us land this little funky probe on Eve, which is still there, collecting science, looking pretty. What I intend to do is use this ship as the basis for my design, because this ship got us there and got us back, and you know, it did a pretty good job. But I'm thinking, we're using all the components. What we could do is refine this model and come up with something that's even better, a little more fuel efficient, and I've got some tricks that I'm hoping will help me with that. So first things first, I'm going to pop that just to one side so that I can see it and work from it as we're going. And I'm going to start us off with a probe body. Now where's that gone? Anyone see a probe body anywhere? Now this, there we go. This is actually planned to be a manned mission, but I do want the craft to be able to operate on its own without a crew, and you'll see why later. We will come back to that. So, where to start? So what we would have been using is we've got I think we were using the Roxxon Mac X232, these ones. And by the looks of it, we had two of them for that stage. Now I can reduce the part count by replacing it with one of the larger tanks, which does exactly the same thing. It'll reduce the part count, which will help the struggling PC, my struggling PC rather, Gonzo's PC, would not struggle at all. It would have no issue with a craft such as this. But mine may. It'll also increase the stability of the craft because you won't have as many joins. And that's a good start. Now I want to put some engines on this, obviously. You need engines. Now, for a start, never mind. We've got a mainsail engine on there. And the reason we put the mainsail engine on, we were using the atomic motors. Where's the atomic motors? These are the atomic motors. We were using the atomic motor originally, and the atomic motor is so much more fuel efficient. When we initially used this kind of designer craft to go to Eve the first time round, when we dropped the rover, we had a lot more fuel left as a result of using the atomic motor over the mainsail. And the reason we switched to the mainsail, pop that back on. The reason we switched to the mainsail over the atomic motor is that the atomic motor, let's have a look, maximum thrust of 60, and the mainsail has a maximum thrust of 650. So the burn we were using on this atomic motor was just taking us forever. However, I do have a solution to that. I recently discovered that these girders, these sort of cross sections, actually have fuel crossfeed. So you can mount an engine on the side of these, or several engines on the side of these, and they will continue to drain fuel from that fuel tank, which is really good. And that means I can pop multiple, or at least I could try. I can put multiple of these. You know what, it's going to be easier to put these on the side and then move them around. But yeah, I can put multiple of these on one fuel tank. So effectively I'm quadrupling the thrust. Yeah, it is going to drain the tank quicker because there's four of them, but it's still going to be a damn sight more fuel efficient than using the mainsail or the skipper. Actually, I can't remember which one I used, the mainsail or the skipper. but it's going to be a damn sight more fuel efficient than that, and it's going to have a thrust of 240. Now, it's still going to be a much longer thrust time than if we were to use the mainsail. Still a longer burn cycle if we were to use the skipper, but I think we had about 6 minutes worth of burn last time we used this design with one. So I mean that's going to knock it down to 1 minute and 20, which is far more reasonable to expect people to sit through, and far easier a silence for myself and Gonzo to fill when we're trying to come up with meaningless chatter. So let's get those aligned. I mean that's not perfect, but I do need a little bit of a gap in the middle. See if I can push them in a little bit further without sort of compromising what I'm trying to do here. That probably will compromise what I want to do, so they are going to need to come out a bit more. We can push them up. We've got those ugly girders, but who cares about the aesthetics on this thing? Now of course the problem is that now I want a stage beneath this, and how am I going to do that? I mean, getting a decoupler on there, I mean, that's just crazy. That's never going to work in a million years. Even if we were to take one of the big ones, you can't centre it so that it covers all of them. So, what I intend to do... Oh dear, I actually thought that we might have had some of the stack separators as well as the decouplers, but we don't appear to. But if I can pop a small decoupler there, these are going to need to come out a little bit more. I don't want them obstructing that decoupler, and you know, I'd rather have it working than looking mega pretty. I think working is probably, definitely the most important part of this process. So yeah, I've got a decoupler there, and what I can do is go back to my girder segments. I only want one of them, and I'll just duplicate that part a couple of times. That's far enough. Stick another decoupler on the bottom. Although we don't really need to stick another decoupler on the bottom, to be perfectly honest. And there we go. We've got the decoupler there, so that could fire that stage away when this bottom stage is done. Oh, excuse me. I'm just going to take a slurp of my tea here. Nice sugary tea to wake me up on this early Friday morning. Ah, that's good stuff. Okay, so the next segment, what have we got here? 1, 2... We've got stacks of 2. Stacks of 2... Where's the fuel tank? Where's the fuel tank? Where's the fuel tank? Where is the fuel tank? Ah, I'm on engines. So yeah, we've got stacks of 2. The FLT 800, it has a fuel capacity of 360, oxidizer 440, but 360 liquid fuel. I'm going to stick another one of these on the bottom, which is massive. So that's going to be the founding point. So we have another 8 of these bad boys. So 8 times 360. Oh, my maths is bad. So it's going to be 3,600, 4, 2, 4, about 4,300 and something. Is that about right? Is that about right? I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna put the calculator in because I want to get this dead on, and my math skills are terrible. So 360 times 8, 2,880. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that is exactly what we are using. So two of them will give us the equivalent of all of those tanks that we've got on there. I mean, so this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to recreate a sort of similar design structure, but minimizing the number of parts that go into it to make it more efficient. Really, I mean, is that right? Ah, yes, of course, because we've got 8, but they're stacks of 2. So it is in fact 16 times. I thought that seemed a little light, so actually I'm going to need 4 of these bad boys to make the job. Now that's already coming together quite nicely. Get on, get on, get on. Sweet. This isn't going to take as long as I thought it was. Okay, so now we need the utilities. We had a lot of utilities on this. We've got solar panels, RCS thrusters, whatnot. I need to recreate them as well. So let's get on that. Let's start with the RCS. What have I done? I've pulled it off the bloody... Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Have I completely lost? Oh no, right, okay. Don't panic, Ross, don't panic. Have I thrown the pod away? No, I haven't. The pod's around here somewhere. Can anybody see a command module? Anybody? Anybody at all? Command module anywhere? Is it hidden? Is it? There it is, there it is. Okay. So that was fairly efficient. That did the job that we needed it to do. So I'm gonna just sort of roughly recreate that kind of look and feel. I don't want them obscured by that line. Oop, excuse me. So let's get some of those thruster ports on. Put them there and there. I mean, that's not exactly centered, but it's getting there. Come on, you elusive little bugger. Click, click, click on. Zoom. You know what, sod you. You can just stay there, off-centered, like you deserve. That's what you get. This staging bit at the side is getting awfully confusing now. Right, so I've got solar panels, bam. I've got RCS, bam. Is there anything else I need? Not on that stage, not on that stage, not on that stage. I mean, this stage obviously needs some work. Engines would be useful. Engines that we were using. I believe we were using the... No, we weren't. We were using the T45. So they've got maximum thrust of 200. Engine mass of 1.5. 5.7 rate of fuel eating uppery. So if I were to place them with, say, mainsails, eats the fuel up very quickly. It's got a mass of 6 and a maximum thrust of 1,500. So I mean, if that had, say, you quadrupled that, you would get the mass of 6, and it would only be pushing at 800. So mass to thrust ratio, that is definitely better. In terms of the ISP, we've got 320 to 360. We've got 320 to 370. The liquid fuel engine, yeah, that's better. The mainsail is better for us. The one thing we're going to need to do when we use these mainsails is make sure that we don't go too fast at the launch stage, because the last thing we want to do is sort of ruin our fuel efficiency. I want to remove that because that's not lined up either. Is ruin our fuel efficiency by, hitting a lot of atmospheric resistance. I seem to have forgotten the rotate buttons. That's not a good thing. It's not that one, clearly. Not that one. You know what? Let's just worry about aesthetics another time. Make something that works. Doesn't have to be pretty. Right. So we're on to the solid fuel stages. So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the big bad boys. What do you call them, you ask? I don't bloody know. You call them the Rockermax BACC, the back solid fuel booster. We haven't got anything larger to replace those with, so we are going to have to go with 8 if we want to try and maintain the same kind of design. I'm happy to go with 8. 8 suits me just fine. I'm tempted to add a little bit extra fuel to these, to be perfectly honest. Just a touch. Just to give it a little bit more power than the previous rocket had. Maybe pop one of them on the bottom. Because why not? Why not have a little bit more? Obviously the returns are diminishing as you add more and more weight to the damn thing. But it will be a small return, nevertheless. Now let's get back to our good old solid fuel boosters. Now we want those large radial decouplers because we don't want any accidents like we have had on previous ship designs in the past, so I want them pretty far away from the damn thing. Right. Okay, what I'm going to do is pop the symmetry off for a second and just drop 1 down. And that'll allow me to manipulate the symmetry on this as one entity. Now, I think they're probably going to cross over, so that might not work. I'll pop the symmetry back on. Well, that's 3 times, so that's no good. Yeah, the slight clipping issue there, slight clipping issue. Let's go back. Which means I'm going to have to sort of position the 2 by eye, not in symmetry mode, and try and get them lined up because we want it to be stable. We definitely don't want it to be non-symmetrical. I mean, that doesn't look right to me. Having trouble getting hold of the damn thing, but it certainly doesn't look right to me. There we go. Okay, so that was what I could do is, if I can find some sort of crazy symmetry mode. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pop that there, get rid of it, get rid of that. So that's when it's in 4. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is just painful to watch. And I'm doing it. Excuse me. Right, so pop it over to there. I think that's around about where it was. Dupe another one. Alt and click. Now I put this one on symmetry mode, and I can use it to get it perfectly lined up with that one. Just like that. Pop symmetry mode off and drop it. And there we go. Hey! Lovely stuff. Pick that back up. 4 duplicates placed in symmetry. Thank you very much. Now look at that. Isn't that the shit? Oh yeah. Alright. Cooking with gas now. So what else? Now we had these small ones at the bottom. How many of them did we have? I think we just had them covering the 5 centre engines. Oh no, we didn't. We had them covering everything. Oh, so that's a lot. So that's 8 plus another 8. Is that 16? Well, obviously 8 plus 8 is 16, but I'm asking, is it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, I feel like I've miscounted there. 2, 3. Now we've got less engines. That's a problem. It's a problem. We've got less engines. How am I going to resolve this problem? Well, I'm going to start by adding another central based. Oh, they're not even the big ones. They're not even the big ones. The big ones are the SRBs, right? But don't worry, we've worked out what we're doing now, so this is not going to take long to sort. Undo, please. That's a absolute travesty. Should have had some breakfast before I started. I'm really starting to feel quite hungry now. Okay, let's get the big bad boy on, the proper one. Thrust 18. No, I was highlighting the wrong thing. Now that looks far more like it, does it not? Okay, let's dupe that bad boy again. Again, we'll use sort of artificial 4-point symmetry mode to get that. Oh, yeah, that won't work because I need to be working off the 1 engine and 1 fuel tank to get that to work. Bollocks! 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 I hope this is at least amusing every time I make those cock-ups and not just shameful. Okay, that looks pretty snazzy. Actually, let's get a better angle. And I can use those sort of black lines at the bottom to get it swish. That looks good to me. It's not dropping. Why is it not dropping? Click. Click, 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 click. Okay, let's just try the angle. It may have been that the angle was a bit funny. Drop symmetry and attach. Attach! Attach, you scum! I know why it is. It's because of the bloody order that I put the things on in, isn't it? Or is it just that... Okay, having some technical difficulties here. Can't click on anything. Can't click on anything at all. Can I at least save my design? Oh, Christ. On a bike. Apologies for you religious viewers out there. I shouldn't blaspheme. That's very disrespectful. Bear with me. I'm going to hard crash the game and hope that we haven't lost everything when I come back. I'll pause recording when I do, so I'll see you again in a minute. What up, party people? I'm back. Let's hope it works this time. I'm going to quickly nip into research and development because I would have thought we would have had stack separators by now. And I definitely don't have enough to buy any additional parts. So we're just going to have to live without them. Stack separators would have been really useful for what I'm actually intending to do. Autosaved ship. Come on, please. Please. Okay. Balls! Boulder dash, boulder dash. Okay. This is going to be mega quick because we know what we're doing now. So don't tune out. I can get it back. If it does start to take too long, I'll probably just pause recording. But I'm confident that we won't need to do that. I'm confident that I can do this quickly. So, here we go, here we go. Big ass fuel tank. Bosh, stick that on. Get ourselves... Oh, no, girders first. 4 girders. Girdler, modular, blah 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 blah. Stick them on. Get ourselves 4 atomic motors. And rotate them the correct way. Pop them on there. Rotate first before offset. Pull them down there. Let's get some more girder sections. Lock that in place. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the gold medal. Take it back off again because we forgot to put a stack decoupler, which will be required. Stack decoupler in place. Doesn't appear to be being blocked by those engines. Back on there. Lovely. Yep, that's not being blocked as of now. Now let's get the offset. Push those engines up. And they definitely... Oh, they will clip. If I push them in like that, they will clip. Bring them out a bit. No, not the whole damn thing. Just them. Bring them out 1. Lovely. Job's a good one. I think I can scrap this now. I don't think I need it anymore. Design was based on it, but we're doing alright. Undo. Undo? Ah, God. Now I can't get rid of that. That's just stuck there forever. I hope that's not because my mouse is broken again, but pop it out a bit. Pop it up a bit. Yeah, that's fine. That's not obstructing anything. Looks all good to me. I'm going to need another big engine now. Pop that there. And we wanted to pop one of the smaller fuel tanks on the bottom of it. Start by getting another one of them on the outside at this stage. Right, let's bring it around the front. Drop mainsail on the bottom. Good stuff. While we're here, let's drop mainsail on the centre. Now we want to go to structural, and we want one of the external radial decouplers. 1 and 2 for the gold medal. See, we're nearly back to where we were now. Get that on straight, that might help. Lovely. Duplicate. Zoom out a bit so I get a better view. Make sure it's lined up by using and pop that there. Job's a good one. One more for luck. Again, making sure it's in the right place before I drop it down, and there we go. So pull out the main fuel tank, set it to 4 times mirror duplication, and actually getting that on straight is proving to be difficult because I can't see where it is. There we go. And that is clearly not right. So back to where we were. As you were, gentlemen, please. You can bugger off. And I mean entirely. You need to come over by 1. And then I need to sort out your arrangement. So I mean, they were beautifully symmetrical with each other, they just weren't symmetrical with the rest of the ship. So you there. Now, one more for the finish line. That is much better. He says, hopefully. Ah, sound. Sound. We've got the basis for a very nice ship now. Seriously want to get rid of that. That is really annoying. Let's bring it around to this side so we can at least pretend it's not there. Let's get the gubbins sorted out here. Back to where we were. So I'm going to need some fuel tanks. One at the top. One there. Let's move it up a little bit. Let's move that one down a little bit. Monopropellant. Where's monopropellant? Command and control. Yep, there's the RCS thruster blocks, and that's what I wanted. Pop them there. Pop them there. We need solar panels. Solar panels. Utility. Yes. I am a big fan of the 1x6s, even though functionally the 2x3s are just as good. Let's get some batteries on there. We're going to need some power. Put the batteries up at the top, actually. Lovely. Lovely, lovely stuff. Alright. Staging. Let's think about staging. So, yeah, that should be the last thing to go at the minute. We want all those solids to go, then all those radials. And what we got here? Ah, yeah, so those will be our mainsail engines. Then we got that gubbins there. And then we've got that. Yeah, the staging's pretty sound so far. It seems to have all been clever and worked itself out. So I'm going to add some more of these because I want to give us a little bit of an extra boost just by adding some small R10 solid fuel boosters at the bottom. One, click into place, you scum. Rebel scum. Not liking it, not liking it. Maybe if we zoom in a bit closer, get that angle right. Oh, I had it there, I had it for a second. Too much to work with. Too much going on. If I put them at the back, it'll probably be easier. So they all go off first. Then we've got those. I could even be cheeky and stick 4 more of those bad boys on. What happens if you try and stick a small decoupler on a large engine? That actually works. Or does it work? Does it just look like it works? We'll sharp find out, because I'm going to try it. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. I don't think they're all firing at the same time, unfortunately. So they need to come down here. What about you? You're there. You need to come down here, and you're all the right stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I've got 12 of them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. 3, 6, 12. Oh, and you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I think we might have ourselves a rocket. Let's get some launch stabilizers on it. And bring ourselves down here. Get a bit closer to the ground. What I'd like to do at this stage, because I'm going to start working a little bit on the top, is get rid of that. And the only way I know how to get rid of that, I'm going to call this the big thingy. Caps! Caps! The big thingy. Interplanetary. And I'm going to call it a prototype system explorer. Would you believe that my job involves mostly typing for a living? It's this keyboard. Great for gaming, terrible for typing. Let's save it, and then if I load it again, accent, it's right at the top, everything else should disappear. 230, and luckily we've got 547, so we can afford to launch 2 of these before we bankrupt ourselves. This is really where I wanted to have a proper Sepratron, because what I want to do is is it in structural, is it in utility? It looks like they're in utility. What I wanted to do was pop a docking port on the top of this ship, and then offset that. Looks like I'm going to have to offset the fuel tank underneath it to absorb that. And then add a separate lander stage on the top. I was going to use one of these Clamatron docking ports. And then a Sepratron would be able to shear it in half, and then it would be able to land and come back and connect to that. Unfortunately, that's not viable anymore, because if I were to use a stacked decoupler, it leaves half of itself behind, so it would block the docking port. Excuse me, block the docking port from return approach. So I don't know what I'm going to do now. I mean, I could connect the docking ports and launch it with the docking ports connected, but well, that's not going to be particularly stable. So how can I do this? How can I do this? Could I connect something via girders, perhaps? Oh, I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Think. What could I do? What could I do? Thoughts coming. Thoughts arising. Can I put something on the bottom there? Could I have a lander stage on the bottom? I could have a lander stage on the bottom. I haven't put an engine on that damn... Oh no, I have. Those are the engines. Don't be silly, Ross. Okay, the game is going crazy because that's far too much going on. Control Z. I've got a plan. It's kind of an awful plan, but it's a plan nonetheless. I want, let's see, how big's the top of that? So, stack decoupler. This is bizarre. Yep, definitely a stack decoupler. Pop the Mark III command pod on there. With a nice chunk of fuel. What kind of engine do I want on this? I feel like a skipper would drain that very quickly, but I feel like a skipper's probably what's needed. Poodle perhaps? Maybe a poodle. I stick a poodle on there. Poodle's good for a little lander. And get some legs on there. I'm going to use the rotator and bend them down like that. Legs, 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 legs. Is it structural? Is it utility? It's utility. It's some big ass legs. And I need to make sure that they're actually going to land. So there we go. So you can retract them now. We are going to need some power on the lander itself. Perhaps a little bit of RCS, perhaps. What sort of RCS engines do I have? What sort of fuel tanks do I have? Yeah, actually I like that. That's a good look. It's sort of slightly wonky there. That would be instability, command and control. Utilities for some power. Small batteries will probably do, because this shouldn't be away on an extended mission. And it will, I'll tell you what, I will use the 2x3 solar panels on this. This is a bit of a space saver. Where do I want them? I feel like they're getting in the way of the legs there. I might swap them around. So pop them there and pop the SAS there. Decent enough little lander, I hope you agree. I'm going to really have to make sure I get the staging right on this now, so a big stack decoupler. Big stack decoupler. I think that one of them might be the wrong way around, because that blows away. So I want that one that way around. I definitely want that one that way around. Oh! I'm going to make that the route. No, that's not right. How do I do it? Do I go like that? I'm going to attach it to that. Because I need to get my docking port on. Docking port. That's good. That's really not how I wanted to build this thing. And to be honest, by the looks of it. Ah! Come on back. I've got something to sort out here first. And that's not it. How about if I lift you up? Can I see? I need to set the route again to be. How about if I just get rid of that? There we go. I can see it now. Yeah, I want to set the route to be... what do you call it? The command module thing, you know the one. And then pop that docking port on there. And now that that's the route, I should be able to detach this bit. Get rid of one girder, because it looks like we've got one too much. Now, the funny thing is, these engines are going to be almost pulling this rather than pushing it. I certainly don't want them to burn it up. So I might have to pull them out a little bit more with the offset. They don't even look like they're attached there. You know, I said it's more important than it looks pretty. That it works than it looks pretty, but I mean that just looks kinda daft. So I reckon we can afford to do a little bit of tweaking. Now the engines definitely need to be straight on, otherwise we're going to just waste so much efficiency. They are going to heat that up, something chronic. Let's bring that out a little bit more. This is so awkward, difficult. We need to move those legs, because those legs are right in the firing line of those exhausts, so now the exhaust's going to go between them. Move the batteries down, and move everything from there. I would not like to be the Kerbal in that ship as the flames power down the centre of the craft. I'm not 100% sure about this now. Not 100% sure about it. We're missing some important components now that I come to think of it. We're missing all the science gear, which needs to be on the lander. But that's good, it means we can put a little bit distance between us and those engines. So let's start off with the Science Junior. Pop that on there. And we'll get ourselves a couple of goo canisters and pop those on the side. Bit of a risky move putting the docking port on top of the Science Junior, because the Science Junior is a very delicate piece of equipment, so it could easily be destroyed. So when we do attempt to dock this, if we do decide to try and dock this, we have to be very gentle. So we've got the seismic accelerator, the barometer. What else have we got? We've got the thermometer. I knew we were missing something. Put that aside there. I believe it's weightless, so it shouldn't have any impact on the aerodynamics of this particular craft. We'll pop a communicator on the side of the ship there. Now I think we're ready. Oh no, hang on. There's one very important thing. I mean, that girder section is great and all for what I wanted to do, but I think we're going to need some additional stability. Where's the best place to attach it? I don't like attaching it to those thruster tanks. I'm going to move them. Move them there. They'll be fine. They won't explode, honestly. So that looks pretty precarious. I reckon it'll probably be okay. Probably. Maybe, perhaps. It's not as, pretty as I wanted it to look, which is primarily down to that issue with the Sepratron not being available. This whole bit should have been up here on the top, flying from there. But hey ho, I mean, we've got something that looks like it might work. The staging has completely imploded on itself, so we're going to need to sort that out quick smart. So all of these need to be, well, they actually need to be the second stage, because the first stage is going to be those. So we release, and then all of them, 8, 4, 5, is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12. No, that's not all of them. Well, that's in the right place. That's not in the right place. That's in the right place, that's the right place, that's the right place. That's in the wrong place. There we go, there we go. Some of our missing engines there. No, no, what are you doing? What's going on? Back to vehicle assembly. Sorry, I'm not sure what I clicked there. I think the staging bit must have been overlapping with the main buttons. For a start, we can put all these in the same stage. Actually, no, we can't put them all in the same stage as the liquid going off. We can for now. There'll be a little bit of refinement to do. Oh no, we can. We can put them all in the same stage as those. That's fine. We'll put all them in together, certainly. What's that? That's the one on the bottom, so that needs to go down to this stage. Yes. And all those separatrons come off. The outside ring fires, and the outside ring gets thrown away. Main engine force kicks in. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. You behave yourself. So after that stage, we want our atomic motors to fire. That's right, isn't it? Yep. We want our atomic motors to start firing, and we need to throw the bottom away, so that's Sepratron. Sepratron fires, and that goes. Is that the end? It's hard to tell because I can't scroll up anymore. And so those need to go at the same time. And that engine, well, that engine is a completely different entity of its own. But by the time we separate, we'll know if we want the engine on or off. So we'll have our thrust either engaged or disengaged, so we can put that in the same stage. Actually, there's one last tiny thing we need on this, which is crucially important if we ever plan on bringing this back home to Kerbin. And can you guess what it is yet? Parachutes. I wish my tea hadn't run out. That's probably going to block the door. I don't want to put them on the Science Junior because it could just tear the whole thing right off. I'll pop them there, I don't mind obstructing the window. And there we go. I think that's a ship. That is a ship. Let's save that. Oh, where did those parachutes drop in terms of the staging? Not in the right place. Oh, you come, parachutes. Are you there? And we definitely want you there. Oh my god, this is I've created a monster. I'm worried that this bit might have added too much weight because we were only flying with a probe body last time. So it does concern me somewhat. But just gotta roll with it. roll with the punches, see how it goes. Should we give it a go? Crew. I need 3 people. What 3 better people for the job? If this goes horribly wrong, Gonzo will murder me. If I kill our 3 guys. And it's very possible because these flames could just come out, overheat this, and the whole damn thing go boom. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. I'm really, really worried about the staging. I'll double check it again once we're on the launch pad. Okay, let's recover that vessel. Clearly needs some struts added for some structural support, because that was wobbly and horrible, and yeah, I wouldn't like to be in that. So let's make sure we're in 4 times symmetry mode for these. I'm not worrying about prettiness anymore. I've already decided it's quite an ugly thing. Strut 'em up. Strut 'em if you got 'em. And I think we need a line between them. We may as well. A little extra support isn't going to hurt anybody. These ones on the inside. Let's see if I can get a good look at them. I mean, that ought to do it in terms of stability. That bit's alright. Let's strut it up. Everything strutted to everything else. Save it, because that's effectively a design optimization, and I don't want to lose it. Back to the launch pad. See if it looks like it's going to hold together this time. Yeah, that's much more like it, isn't it? Got Bill, Bob, and Jeb. We haven't got any lights. Recover vessel. Last tweak, I promise you. Last tweak. Even if I get back to the launch pad again and there's something I've forgotten, this is the last tweak. Lights. Light. Now I said this was my last trip, so light, power, SAS, science, staging, 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 staging. Oh, you beautiful thing. You're gonna get us so far. You're gonna take us all the way. I want that to be in that stage. I don't want it to hit the ground as soon as I press the start button. I think I might want an action group. I think I do want an action group. Where do I get action groups again? Because they changed the damn layout of this thing. Name, mass, cost, size, action groups. No, they didn't change that at all. That's just me. Custom action group 1. Custom Action Group 1 is my emergency procedure. So if this all goes wrong, I hit button 1 and that centre part will separate. Probably dangerous to do if we're shooting upwards. I might want to consider activating that engine as well, so that I can try and pull us away from whatever's going to drag us to our death. In fact, so we don't want the parachutes on. We can activate the parachutes manually once we've decoupled. Okay, now we're ready to go. It's good to build in an escape stage when you're building a new craft and you don't know if it's going to kill everyone. Okay, so I'm just going to try and see if I can get this thing into orbit, and then once we get into orbit, we'll see how it stands. We'll see if it's looking good for a potential future mission. And if it is, we'll come back to it next episode and we'll take it somewhere super sexy, hopefully that we've never been before. But that's if it works. Fingers crossed. God, I love you, Bob, Jeb and Bill. I hope that I don't kill you now. Also, this was probably quite expensive. Let's go. Okay, that's not a good thing. Fortunately, we can recover the vessel because it's more or less stationary. I'm not giving in. I know we said we wouldn't go back, but I'm sure you don't blame me after what just happened. So let's consider how we can get some extra thrust on this with minimal changes. Now, in terms of the solid fuel busters, the SRB KD 25Ks have a fuel thrust of a thrust ratio of 650, whereas those solid fuel busters only have 250. It may be the case that we have to get rid of those. We can still have them on those engines. I want to undo that if I can, because I shouldn't have pulled it off and I don't have to redo all the symmetry. What on earth just happened there? That's fine. So what I'm going to actually do is fire the outside ones at the same time, which means I have lost effectively one lower stage of solid booster power, but given that it wasn't actually taking us anywhere, so they're all going to go at the same time. I can ditch those ones first, then I ditch the outside ones and the main engines come on. So fingers crossed that helps us out a bit. It'd be a shame if I've completely ballsed this design up. Be a bit of a wasted episode if I have. And not even in a woo, everyone dies in an explosion fun kind of way, just in a, oh really, so we watched all that shit for nothing. Launch, take 2. It goes slowly, but it goes. Sticky keys, no. It's a nice looking thing, I think. I like it. I mean, I built it, I'm biased. It's got a bit of a spin going on with it, which is not ideal under, well, any circumstances really. But it is going up in the air. We'll get to throw off some dead weight in a second. Now our speed is slow. I don't know whether I should... No, let's not. I was tempted to activate the mainsail engines at this stage, but let's not. It's no big deal anyway. Until we hit about 10,000, I don't want my speed to go much over 200 meters a second, because I don't want to be fighting against the air resistance. I want to keep the majority of my power for when the atmosphere thins. Spin is... it's not the worst spin we've had. This is the biggie. If it doesn't blow up when I get rid of them, yeah, we have been known to lose ships that way. And we've got a nice bit of power going. I'm not riding the throttle that high, and I've achieved that 200 meters a second speed. I'm going to start my gravity burn lean and open it up a little bit. Oh, there's a hell of a wobble with this thing. I think we could have done with a little more stability than what I did put on, but that's fine. We're coming up nice and quick. Got a good angle. The fuel situation, it's not as efficient as I was hoping it would be, but this is going to fuel our interplanetary burn, and that's where the efficiency is really going to kick in. It takes a lot to get something into orbit, but once you're in orbit, you're more than halfway at anywhere really. And approaching Kerbin atmospheric escape. Fuel situation looks okay, and those are powerful engines, so I'm confident that we'll get in orbit with them. And they are really powerful engines. Let's adjust that bit. I might have to boost up a little bit more because we are dipping back into the atmosphere. I'm just getting an idea of how long a burn I'm going to have to do. Apparently we're going to do a 34-second burn roughly, very roughly, to achieve an orbit. But I am going to push us out a little bit higher because I'm not happy with the way the apoapsis has dropped there. Oh, we're going the wrong way there. Come on, get it centered. Do a good job. We are going to have to start burning fairly soon. I'd like to get a decent, relatively efficient orbit going on without burning too far out. I mean, that's fine, I think. Burning out to 80. Okay, so that's his 32-second burn. So I need to burn when we are 15 seconds away from this. And my turning is atrocious, so I'm going to have to use the engines to push me around and push out. Let's look at that go. That's pretty nice. And we should achieve a relatively stable orbit very shortly. Perhaps even with a tiny little bit of fuel to spare, which we could use for sort of correcting our orbital inclination with the planet that we're trying to intercept. Oh, we ran out of fuel. So this is the big stage where we see if this works. I would not like to be in that shit right now. Turning's vastly improved. And we've got an orbit, and hopefully we should have just scratched the surface of that fuel tank. You see, you can't even see anything really. It hasn't taken a bit off it. A bit of a spin going, but that's fine. We'll leave them spinning away. In orbit, 72 there, 71 there. Pretty efficient orbit, if I do say so myself. We're going to need to get these solar panels out if we're going to leave it here. Get the solar panels out, and we'll take them back in when we come to do the manoeuvre. So there we go, we've got a nuclear powered ship in orbit. We've got a separate lander stage for whenever we get to where we're going to go. Of course, when we put the lander back on, it's going to come on this end, which is hopefully going to be, you know, less funny looking and less incredibly dangerous to the people who have flames licking across the front of the capsule that they're in. We've got Bob, Bill and Jeb himself up there, ready to go. So we're going to take them somewhere pretty fun, pretty far out there. There's lots of places in this galaxy that we call the Kerbal system, and it's not a galaxy. So, you know, we could go to Jewel, we could go to Elu, we could go to Dres. Dres, is that no? Yeah, we could go to Dres. We've been to Juno and we've been to Eve, so we probably don't want to go there again. We could always go straight into Moho and go to the closest planet to the Kerbin sun. But we'll decide when I get together with Gonzo and I'll show him the ship. And I hope he's happy with it. If you're watching this on YouTube, mate, I hope you like what I've built. I hope you think it's got some promise. I'll see you soon, and I'll see the rest of you next week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.